Dr. Charles, it's so good to see you. Thanks so much for coming on Marketplace Mondays in May.
Well, thanks. It's great to see you and great to be with you.
Thank you so much. We're talking with Dr. Charles Steinberg. He is the president of the Worcester Red Sox, or we're going to call them the Woo Sox. And the credit unions of Massachusetts are honored to be a founding partner of the Woo Sox this year. Dr. Charles, I don't even know where to start. Your history in baseball is long, amazing. Tell me how you got into baseball.
Well, I was blessed to go to a great high school in Baltimore, my hometown, Gilman School, small school, and it was a private school. And the school realized that come April 15th, we had all gotten our letters of acceptance or otherwise from the colleges of our choice. So to combat senior slump, they set up internships. We hadn't even started using that word yet. They called it Project Encounter. You could volunteer in the community and the school would help set you up with it. And my parents are gone now, but my dad was an orthodontist and I had visited his office many times. And I thought I'd kind of branch out and spread my wings, do something adventurous and work for a friend of his who was a children's dentist. I thought that was the extent of adventure. And a buddy of mine walked down the hall one day, Chris Lambert, and he said, I heard they'll let us work for the Orioles. I'm like, oh my God, I never even knew that you could dream that dream. And I said, I've got my whole career ahead of me for dentistry. I've got 1 month that I could work for the Orioles. And this is the 45th year of that 1 month internship.
Wow. Talk about, living that dream. You saw baseball, you had a chance, started with the Orioles. You have worked with the Red Sox, you have worked with the Orioles, you have worked with the Padres, you have worked with the Dodgers. Talk about just an amazing career. Look back at those 45 years. And I can't even imagine where you would pick one or two moments that were your highlights, but I'm going to ask you, what's one highlight of that 45-year career that really sticks out to you, Dr. Charles?
One that really sticks out to me is April 20th, 2013. That was the ceremony at Fenway Park, 5 days after the marathon tragedy, when the community came together and David Ortiz delivered his unforgettable and unrepeatable speech. And I just felt like that ceremony may have been the most important one of my career. I know that the opening day 2005, when the players got their rings after a short 86-year wait, ranks up there too. And for me, the final ceremony at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, where we had 125 players come back, and without a word being said, the music to Field of Dreams bathed the ballpark, and there was Brooks Robinson and Frank Robinson and all of my heroes. And, with every city, there's been a series of great memories. San Diego, the final game for Tony Gwynn, and being in the 98 World Series. In Baltimore, winning the 83 World Series, becoming a bit of a video producer with Rick Dempsey, our great catcher, and turning his antics into a really hilarious music video. The Los Angeles Dodgers, oh my gosh, opening day 2008, the 50th anniversary of the team moving to LA, and another reprise of that Field of Dreams moment, working with Commissioner Alan H. Bud Selig, getting to know the personality of the person who is such a kind and funny man, and yet the public didn't get to know or hasn't gotten to know that side of him nearly as well. So from Boston, my gosh, a world of memories there. And now in Worcester, you get to help inscribe the first chapter in the history of a franchise and the history of a ballpark. And what an opportunity that is to foster an environment where new memories can be made.
Yeah, talk about new memories. There'll be so many new memories in Worcester, and that is just a litany of amazing moments in your life, Dr. Charles. We're talking to Dr. Charles Steinberg. He is the president of the Worcester Red Sox, president of the Woo Sox. All of the credit unions in Massachusetts are very proud to be a founding partner of the Woo Sox this year. We're looking forward to getting out. See, I mean, it's been such a crazy year. You know that better than anyone else. It's going to be so fun to get out and actually see some games in the city of Worcester.
Well, it bears mentioning that I didn't know Worcester very well at all, and we had done a couple Red Sox events there that were great at Mechanics Hall, and I'd spoken at a chamber event that had a really special, warm flavor to it. This was about 8 years ago or so. But when I was first checking out Worcester as a possible new destination for the Paw Sox, I walked into a meeting and it was filled with men and women who were leaders in Worcester. And one of the women was Karen Duffy. And she just made an impression on me of dignity and grace and intelligence. And it was really illustrative of the nature of the folks in the meeting. And with her long history in the credit union area, it brought the concept of credit unions as a community force higher. It brought it into the forefront of your mind because you have had sponsors along the way, and they've typically been the ones with the big signs that you've seen all over the ballparks. And here was another symbol that the community was coming together to try to woo the Sox, and woo us they did.
Yeah, you talk about the cooperative nature of credit unions. You talk about the cooperative nature of Major League Baseball and baseball as a game in general. It's a perfect partnership. So again, we're chatting with Dr. Charles Steinberg. He's the president of the Worcester Red Sox, the Woo Sox. The Massachusetts Credit Union's honored to be a founding partner of the Woo Sox this year. Polar Park. Talk about designing and opening a brand new stadium. You have a history of doing this, Dr. Charles, but talk specifically about Polar Park in Worcester, and how proud are you of that accomplishment?
I have the honor in my career of being a beneficiary of proximity to greatness. And Larry Lucchino and Janet Marie Smith partnered to create Oriole Park at Camden Yards. And then Larry did Petco Park with some help from Janet, but she was busy doing the conversion of Olympic Stadium to Turner Field. Then we were all back together for the 10 years of improvements to Fenway Park. And they are geniuses. They really are. I have the perspective of the fan, and I have the enthusiasm of a communicator to the fans from the fan. So I'm caring about how good the video board is, and whether the scoreboard shows you all of the information that I as a fan want to see. I care about whether you make sure you don't have long lines for the hot dog. But it's Janet Marie Smith working with Larry Lucchino. They both see three-dimensionally, artistically. They can envision human dynamics. They understand the concept of circumnavigation so that you can walk a complete circle around the ballpark. They both appreciate history so that you have the 1880 Worcester's National League logo adorning the end of each aisle. They both understand accessibility. They invented a system you'll see at Polar Park where wheelchairs can be right next to able-bodied people. And most of all, in addition to their artistic and architectural genius, they love cities. And they love building ballparks that are catalysts for redevelopment and that are community gathering places, whether there's baseball or not, year in, year out, year round. And their adoration of cities is what I think is really the driving passion, in addition to their love of baseball and ballparks.
I can hear the passion in your voice, which just makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. I'm a baseball fan from the very get-go. I've been blessed to work with the Boston Red Sox, travel and see them, love the Red Sox. Have a Red Sox tattoo, which I'm not going to show you right now, but trust me, I love Sox. We're talking to Dr. Charles Steinberg. He is the president of the Worcester Red Sox. The inaugural season, it's happening. Opening day. Talk to me. 45 years you've been doing this. What is opening day? What does that mean to you? No matter where you are, opening day of baseball, how does that make you feel? I get chills when I say the words opening day.
Then you understand. So imagine that you're 8 years old. No, 9 years old. You're 9 years old. You're in fourth grade, and it's 12:30 in the afternoon, and the announcement comes into your room at Cross Country Elementary School to Mrs. Weller. Will you please send Charles Steinberg to the lobby? His mother is here to pick him up, because I was getting out of school to go to opening day.
Yes.
And I see that scene vividly. I can feel it vividly. My two cousins, one 6 months older, one 6 months younger than I, were already in the car. And my dad loved baseball too, and my parents were wonderful together, but my mom understood the effect of baseball on little boys and girls. And to think that I've been to opening day every year, starting in fourth grade,
Wow.
with the exception of 2020, the coronavirus year, when nobody could go.
Right.
To think that I've been to opening day every year, I mean, you pinch yourself. So I have adored opening days long before I had the opportunity to start influencing them, to start writing them, to start orchestrating them. Can you imagine how that feels? You know, it feels like the Beatles invited me to be a fifth Beatle. You know, it's that you got to do what you loved seeing, and you got to try to help people love that just as much.
That's so amazing. That's Dr. Charles Steinberg. He is the president of the Worcester Red Sox. There are so many memories. There are so many feelings, so many emotions. This last year was, I mean, think about that, 45 years except for one, and you couldn't control why. I mean, this pandemic has been a challenge. What has been your biggest challenge creating the Worcester Red Sox during a pandemic year? What are some of the challenges you're going through as a team?
Well, I'll tell you the one that applies to the fans. You want it to be invisible and seamless, but we're orchestrating opening day now. And I would have loved to have had 150 nurses come out on the field in a procession and form a heart while the Beatles sing "Here Comes the Sun." But you can't have the same kind of on-field ceremonies currently, because you can't cross the corona bubble for the players.
Right.
And we took that all the way up to the commissioner's office, and they told us what we could do and they told us what we couldn't do. So I guess the challenges are working within the constraints and recognizing that you still want a beautiful opening day, but you may not be able to do all the bells and whistles that have sometimes given the description of extravaganzas to the things we've done.
Right. We're going to get there, though, Dr. Charles. That's Dr. Charles Steinberg. He's the president of the Worcester Red Sox. We've been through so much as a society, as a country. Baseball's been through so much. So many barriers have been broken. This is just another bump along the way, sir. We're going to get there. Opening day is going to be amazing. This season is going to be amazing. I want to thank you so much for taking time and joining us on Marketplace Mondays in May. That is Dr. Charles Steinberg. He's the president of the Worcester Red Sox. Congratulations. Hats off. Again, I'm just getting chills talking to you because I love baseball so much.
Well, let's look at 2021 through a long lens,
right?
Not where opening day is the culmination point, but where the closing day is, because we have a whole series of ribbon cuttings to take us through the season so that more and more and more people can enjoy it as the capacities, we hope, ease or
and
increase.
You're a perfect partner, because the credit unions of Massachusetts, they think the way you think. They think community. They think, how do I help my brothers and sisters? You think the same way. So number one, it's an honor, Dr. Charles, to talk with you. We're so proud as the Credit Union Association and our friends at the Credit Union Massachusetts to be involved with the inaugural season and many years to come with the Woo Sox. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
And here we go. Ready? What are those words? Play ball.
Play ball.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Charles. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.